Today we thought we'd talk about our previous travel and Disney holidays. Now we've done lots of holidays besides Disney as well as Disney.
Yeah.
Our first holiday together.
Way back when.
2004.
Yeah. I'm misremembering dates.
Yeah. And we thought we couldn't do a pool holiday and we didn't want to sit still, so we went to Portaventura in Salou. We stayed, what, about 5-10 minutes from the park?
Yeah.
In a really cheap 3-star hotel. We went half board and found out we quite like a pool holiday.
Yeah.
And we quite like to sunbathe. But the park was open until late in the evening, so we got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, somebody wanted to have done Disney, but never flown before.
Yes, 2004 was the first time I flew.
Yeah.
First time I left the country properly, really.
So yeah, I was keen to at least check that, you know, planes weren't going to be an issue first before we did long haul. But
so then we came back from that holiday.
Yeah.
Pretty much straight into the travel agent.
And
we booked.
Yeah, first Disney trip
First
together.
Disney. Now, I think like most people, we'd got the brochure, we'd looked at like Animal Kingdom Lodge and Wilderness Lodge. And then we went into the travel agent and we came home and we'd booked All Stars Music.
Yeah.
It was our budget, to be honest. And we'd never done it before, so we didn't really know what the difference is, but we knew we wanted to stay on site, so tick tick. One thing obviously being quite young and not really having travelled a lot on our own, we hadn't really considered what airport we'd fly into, and we flew into Sanford.
Yeah.
And Sanford, it's probably a lovely airport, it's probably changed so much since 2006, but it was a bit chaotic.
Yeah.
And really did put us off flying further out, personally. And I know loads of people do it, but it wasn't for us.
No.
So yeah, and then we came back from that trip and we booked to go to Disney Paris. Again, with the previous Disney trip to Florida, we did minimal research.
Yeah.
And we did minimal research before we booked Disney Paris. So we booked 5 nights. Staying on site. It was a good price because it was half term, quite close, and staying in Paris was really expensive.
Kind of 3 children, so that was kind of, you know, childless millennial type trips.
We sit at Santa Fe.
That was nice actually.
Got the Eurostar from Waterloo direct into Disney, which we loved. I mean, from where we are, we're only what, 50-minute, an hour train journey direct into Waterloo, down the other end of the station, onto the Eurostar, job done. We loved it. It was great for us. We queued to get a bus to Santa Fe because we're used to, we'd only done Florida. Realised it would be quicker for us to drag our cases through Disney Village. Yeah. But we learned. So yeah, 2007, Disney Paris, 5 nights. Didn't need 5 nights.
No.
But yeah, we did it. Yeah.
It was a nice trip. I mean, it was nice to see a different way that they do Disney. Again, back then, so that was our first trip to Disney Paris. It was a completely different feel, I suppose, to what we encountered even back then for Florida. Yeah,
and we'd definitely say it's been like Americanized since then. So the customer service you're used to in Florida, I think, is there now.
Yeah, it wasn't
back then.
Yeah, when you see a character and you look into kind of queue and then everybody literally just swarmed. I mean, there's a lot more kind of structure in place now, and yeah, that was definitely a fun trip for the 2 of us.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. We went into Paris for the day and we were tourists. I mean, we did everything we wanted to do, so we can't complain about that. Obviously, again, food was different. I mean, I did do a little bit more research, but I still don't think you can do Disney Paris like you do Florida. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just they're not the same.
No, it's just different. I mean, I'm sure there are those of you that have done either like California or any out in the east, so the likes of like Tokyo, etc. So I'm sure there are you know, things that you've noticed there when you've been to other different Disneys and stuff. But yeah, it was different. Nice to see that it has changed and it's improved a little bit.
I mean, it can't have been that bad because we did go back again and we can't remember when, but we did go back quite shortly afterwards with some family. We stayed off site. We were last minute replacements for people that couldn't go.
Yeah.
So we had no control over it. We stayed off site. We did a lot of cooking in house.
Yeah.
They had 2 young children, and we realised at that point that everyone does Disney very, very differently.
Yes.
And we had a lovely time, but it was much busier than we'd been before.
Yeah.
We were there for a short period of time, obviously staying off site. It was just very different. But still, it's Disney. You're never going to complain, because having a few days in Disney is always a lovely thing. And then 2009.
Yeah.
Honeymoon holiday. Now, we chose our honeymoon to be something that we probably wouldn't have booked as a normal holiday.
Yeah.
Jay was really into photography, and he really wanted to do a safari. So we looked at South Africa, and we booked South Africa.
Yeah, so we did like a twin centre honeymoon. So we stayed there for, was it 4?
Like 3 or 4 nights, and then flew out to Mauritius for 7 nights. I think it was 11 nights in total. Yeah. We did 1 safari and 1 kind of tour of the local area where we were staying, which was lovely. We saw some lovely animals. We stayed in a stunning
the room we had was just
place, and we were lucky we booked with Virgin,
Yeah.
so people could make a contribution if they wanted to for our honeymoon instead of a wedding present. And because we booked with Virgin, one of their priority things that they got as a Virgin customer was you got upgraded room. So we had this stunning thatched cottage which looked out over the river and some grass, and in the evening the hippos came up and grazed on the grass. So from our little balcony we could just sit and play cards and watch the hippos, including watching a mummy hippo protect her little baby hippo.
Yeah, it was really nice. And it's that level of kind of, I suppose, interaction that we weren't expecting necessarily. I mean, knowing that we try and see as much as we could on safari and various other trips.
Yeah.
But no, that was a really nice holiday. That was.
Yeah, I'm not sure we expected when the signs say, "Do not walk on grass after dark, beware of crocodiles and hippos." We didn't think it was as literal as they would walk all the way up to where the restaurant was, which was raised up, and they'd literally graze pretty much underneath where you were eating. So it was stunning.
Yeah.
Then we flew out to Mauritius, and we did 7 nights, kind of
the beach side
of it.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. Nice weather.
Yeah, it was.
Pretty much didn't do anything on that side of it. Literally just sat by the pool and
kind of set the tone for our holidays after that, really, because
it was the first time we did all inclusive as well.
Yeah.
Which we were told that if you go to Mauritius or that kind of area that you should go all inclusive, because otherwise it gets expensive.
Yeah.
So we did that. It was lovely. Nice. Probably the biggest room we've ever had.
Yeah, that was more on the suite level, I think.
Yeah.
That was lovely.
So that was our honeymoon. And then somewhere in between after that we went to Spain.
Yeah.
We got to the point where we were working lots. I think we just moved into the house we're in now.
Yeah.
James used to have fixed holiday, so we knew we had holiday coming up, but we hadn't booked anything. And I think about 6 weeks before that we just went, we need to book something.
So we went into the estate agents, kind of said roughly the dates we had.
He might have gone into an estate agent's.
Oh, travel agents. Oh well.
But I went on the iPad and just literally searched literally cheapest thing, looked at a few, didn't even look at reviews, found something, and it was with First Choice. It was in Spain. I can't remember whereabouts in Spain. The hotel looked lovely.
Yeah.
It had an adults only pool area and a kids area, walking distance to the beach and the local town.
Yeah.
Booked it. We booked half board, clicked through to confirm payment, and it said, "Would you like to upgrade to full board from half board for a penny a day?"
And so at the time, I think T was looking at it on the computer, so she kind of even said to me, "Have I read this right?" And I was like, "Okay." So I went and had a read, and I was like, "Okay, that does sound too good to be true." But lo and behold, clicked on it, and they were true to their word. I mean, that was actually really nice. Almost not unexpectedly nice, but because it was kind of off the cuff, really a little bit. I mean, it was kind of like later notice.
It was literally like book, go.
Yeah.
Literally 6 weeks. So we
did play balance at the same time.
Yeah, and pay the whole thing and go. And it was quite nice. We had no commitment, so quids in. And then 2014, someone had had enough of me going on about going back to Disney. So we booked Disney.
Yeah.
We walked into Virgin holidays. We were having our bathroom fitted at the time, so we wanted to get out of the house. We walked in. We'd seen like an anomaly on prices on the website, we've always said that when we go to Disney, although we like to stay on site, cheap as possible.
Yeah,
we didn't see the difference.
No, we've often found that because you're rarely in your room anyway. Disney being Disney, I mean the standard, the quality, the cleanliness, everything else, the quality of the food, it doesn't deteriorate as you go down or up through the ranges we found. So yeah, we stayed at Pop Century.
Yeah, Pop Century was coming up cheaper than All Stars, so we even the lady, when she looked at it, she went, that's not normal. So we booked that. We decided we wanted dining plan, so we paid for it.
Yeah, that was our first time going kind of like full dining plan with Disney as well. So previously we'd done...
we didn't do dining plan, we didn't. We just paid as we went the first time. We really didn't know much about it. I researched a lot between the January we went and the September. The January we booked and the September we went. Understood about 180 days, but restaurants, somebody didn't buy into it at the beginning, thought I might have been going a bit crazy. Booking restaurants at 6 months out, wasn't up for that.
No, but once you've been once and done it, and then, you know, when we've come around to look at bookings again, you kind of know that if you don't kind of start getting some bookings in place, then you're going to struggle, I think, sometimes to at least get the restaurants you want. I think you'll always be able to find somewhere to eat, but...
Yeah, so... And we were lucky, you know, even once we'd made our 180-day bookings, we changed a few later on, added a few extras in, and then even changed them when we were there. So we were really lucky, and we enjoyed where we ate. They might not be people's top listers, but we enjoyed what we had that time.
Yeah.
Say 2 weeks on site again, and then we came home. And the lighting's just changed. Apologies. The sun will come back out again.
Yeah.
So 2014 was my booking, so that made 2015 your choice.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we used to try and kind of go alternate as to kind of destination wise. So you may spot a pattern here. So when it was my choice, generally it was kind of and it's somewhat self-indulgent because a lot of times I got a chance to go and dive or whatever, so I scuba dive quite a bit.
Honeymoon, we didn't tell you, Mauritius. 3 days out of 7 of diving.
Yeah.
Just like a couple of hours at a time. I'm fine with it, by the way. Just off you go.
I'd leave tea on the beach. I'd go and like water ski first thing in the morning, and then I'd come back and I might sit down for an hour, and then I'd go off and do something else, and then come back, and I'd go out on the boat and dive, and then I'd come back. Kind of story of our marriage, really.
Yeah.
Just don't see each other very often.
So in 2015, we went to
Egypt.
Again, I know it's a place that gets mixed reviews. People have told us, oh God, when I went to Egypt, this happened, that happened. We put our heads in the sand and went anyway.
Yeah.
And probably put our heads a little bit in the sand a bit more because I travelled at 8 weeks pregnant.
Yeah. For me, it was kind of like a bucket list holiday, really. So when we did Safari for our honeymoon and Egypt were two that for me kind of was one of those like I've always wanted to go to.
Yeah.
And those were a couple of pins in kind of the mental map.
Yeah, and unfortunately when we went to Egypt, it was at I think it was amber warning on travel there.
Yeah.
Sharm, where we stayed, was fine.
Yeah.
But we couldn't travel really outside of Sharm very far.
No.
So there was no chance to go and see the pyramids or anything like that. It was flew in, went into the resort. We could move within Sharm.
Yeah.
But we were advised that our travel insurance wouldn't cover us if we went any further afield. So we didn't. And to be honest, apart from one day when I went out on the boat with you, I didn't leave the resort.
No.
The resort was lovely, the food was good.
I only left kind of 4 days for like 2 separate kind of pairs of diving trips. So
yeah, 11 nights all inclusive. The food was good.
Yeah.
There was a good selection of restaurants. We had a good time. We can't,
it was lovely.
We can't fault it. The only thing I found personally, being a bit of an anxious traveller, for me it was the first time I'd flown into somewhere at what I would class as an unconventional time. We left the UK at 1 o'clock and arrived kind of late evening their time, and then by the time you'd gone through the airport, got bags, got the transfer, we didn't arrive till literally they'd kept the restaurant open for 5 minutes and it was whatever was left on the table kind of thing was what you could have. I'm not used to that, and I found it a little bit more anxious, but once I settled in...
I'll say like the following day or whatever, it was kind of a chance to get your bearings and know where everything was around the hotel. But yeah,
trying to find your way around a resort you don't know that's quite big in the dark, it's quite scary. But you're kind of working out where the boundary line is, but it was lovely and the holiday was lovely, and we, touch wood, we had no problems there. As a female, they were directing a lot of the conversation to you, which is awkward in our relationship because I do the talking and I do the communication when we go away.
In case some of you may or may not ever kind of notice when you see her on camera, I'll just kind of like pan each way. So I'm partially deaf. So I was born with one ear, hearing aid kind of majority of my life. So for us, people can direct conversation at me all they like, but 9 times out of 10 they'll talk to me, I'll look to T will answer, and it just becomes a bit of an awkward.
You realise, especially when you get to like a reception area, they're normally big, vast spaces with lots of background noise, and for you that's not a good thing to do.
I do struggle.
Sometimes lip reading isn't your forte when you're tired or when someone's speaking very quickly or not looking at you, because often they're talking at their keyboard. And
then with accents as well, it kind of adds another thing to the mix.
So yeah, it was a little bit awkward. A lot of the time we did go to reception, they'd try and talk to you.
Yeah, I mean culturally it's generally more male orientated.
Yeah. And maybe I felt a little bit more sensitive because I was a bit hormonal as well.
Yeah.
But it was lovely.
It was a good trip.
And we had a lovely time, and it was kind of that was our baby moon, even at 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So honeymoon, diving.
Yeah.
Baby moon, diving. Wait, it'll carry on.
You'll see a pattern, as we said.
2016, little one was 16 weeks.
Yes.
And we just went down to Devon with my family. We had 2 little chalets, and we had a week.
That was nice.
And it was nice. Okay, the camera just decided to cut us off. It had enough. We're boring it.
Yeah.
It was really hilly, but we had a lovely time. We didn't really do a lot. We kind of had a mixture of eating out, eating in.
Yeah, chance to mooch. Bit of sea, air, bit of sun. It's quite nice.
Yeah, so that was 2016. 2017, we did our first little family holiday on our own.
Yes.
And we got a Monday to Friday cheap deal down in Burnham. Somewhere my family's travelled a lot. I was probably there at a similar age that we took Madison down there to probably the same site.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice to have a caravan with our own space.
Yes.
Even though Madison was like 2.5, she still wasn't walking. So 2.5, 1.5.
1.5.
1.5. She wasn't walking, so it was nice that we could put her down and she could crawl. We made full use of the swimming pool.
Yeah.
The weather we lucked up. The weather bar one day was stunning.
Yes.
The only thing we found in Burnham
is it goes to sleep
at 7 o'clock. I'm not used to this, even on UK holidays.
No.
Places I've been, and I've been to very touristy places, are always open till like 8, 9 o'clock. You can get ice cream at 9 o'clock in the evening. We couldn't do that.
No.
Haagen-Dazs became our best friend because we would just buy cheap tubs in the local supermarket
and then just
and eat
those.
it in the evening. Yeah, it was just nice to get away together.
It was a nice site as well.
Yeah, it was a haven. They had like water confidence classes for little ones, so Maddie was...
That was a bit of a game changer for her at that age as well, because she was able to kind of play rather than think she was just being stuck in a pool, not able to do much. So
yeah, so it was really good. We enjoyed it. So it was just a Monday to Friday. Site was lovely. We ate on site, but we did generally cook.
Yeah.
You know, we just went in and bought, I suppose, more like ready meals, kind of like the tortellini you can just boil in 4 minutes, or like
minimal washing up.
The takeaway bags you can get, and just kind of kept it cheap and cheerful, which was nice, because then in 2018 we went on a holiday to Malta. Now Malta hadn't come up on my radar, but came up on your radar.
Yes.
You can guess why it came up on Jay's radar.
Scuba diving again.
Scuba diving. We did look at Egypt.
Yes.
Unfortunately, at the time, Egypt was pretty much a no-go area.
Yeah, you'd have to have flown somewhere else first and then flown into... You couldn't go direct from the UK, so...
Which probably meant that we wouldn't have got travel insurance.
Well, yeah, things were just logistically a lot more of a nightmare. We also had little ones, so we wanted to try and keep things... again, a little bit easier. We can just fly in somewhere, get to our hotel. When we do resort holidays, we generally just stay on site and just stay within. But yes, that was lovely. So again, we were there for 7 nights. Yeah. And I went diving for 2 or 3 days.
2 or 3 days. This time I couldn't join Jay on the boat because we obviously had a little one. It wasn't kind of that kind of boat. Like in Egypt, the boats were set up for people to just be on top deck and just sunbathe and eat and drink.
Most of mine were all, say, land-based dives, but just kind of getting in the water from a dive site rather than going on a boat or whatever. So.
I mean, it was the first experience travelling abroad with little ones.
Yeah. Yeah, airports and a stroller. That's always good fun.
Yeah, if you've never been through Boots with a stroller in the airport...
I swear they design it that way so you don't.
You can't get the buggy and there's nowhere to put the buggy. And just generally, I think it taught us that travelling with a toddler is harder than you expect.
Interesting.
The paraphernalia you have to carry, trying to get bags through airports, buggies through airports, security, like Gatwick over this side, buggy can go through the scanner, doesn't have to go on the conveyor belt. Coming back through Malta has to be folded up completely, put through the X-ray machine. Just different, and you don't know these things. I think, again, it was one of those flights where we flew out at 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
Arrived there about 10 o'clock their time. By the time we got the transfer, we got to the hotel about 12 o'clock. All inclusive. It was a lovely hotel.
It was, yeah. I mean, visually, it was stunning.
The pools were stunning.
Yeah.
But people believed that
nice
they
restaurants.
Paid their money, and it was all inclusive, and they were more important than other people. And it was a little bit tetchy at times. You know, people didn't want to wait for restaurants But yeah, it was we had a lovely time.
Yep.
We indulged in the cocktail bar.
Yes.
Including Maddie and her little mocktails, a little it was strawberry milkshake with a little bit of like coloured sugar around the top, but she thought she was the bee's knees.
Oh yeah, she did.
And visually stunning. Would we go back? Probably.
Yes.
But we'd wait till she's older so we can indulge in some of the history and the culture.
Yeah, I mean, tourism side of things wise, and there's an awful lot to go and see and do, and the history in that part of the world is just amazing as well.
But you can't take a 3-year-old on a coach trip.
No, that wouldn't have worked.
Trip. So we
not for us anyway.
Stayed in the resort, enjoyed ourselves, indulged on all inclusive.
Yes.
Why not? And then 2019, we decided that we'd been 5 years since Disney and we wanted to take Madison back. That's our excuse, and we're sticking to it. In all honesty,
to be fair, say the truth be told, that was our holiday that Madison got taken on, not necessarily a holiday for Madison. But
so 2019, we booked. I was clued up more, and we booked in the free dining period. We pretty much booked straight away.
Yep.
We booked with Virgin because we travelled with them before.
Yeah, whenever we've done the long haul stuff, we've only really flown with Virgin.
And we've never had any faults with Virgin flights, so we've stuck with them. I'm not saying that we have a bad experience with someone else, but that's what we've done. So we booked at the beginning of the dining plan. We stayed at Coronado Springs, which is a moderate. So it had free quick service, and then we upgraded to full dining plan because we enjoyed it on the first time we'd used it.
Yep.
Coronado came up one of the cheaper moderate resorts because it was going through all the refurb with the tower being built, the Destino Tower, and they didn't put a finish date on it. So we didn't know whether there'd be building work happening or not, but we took the risk.
So when we got there, it was pretty much complete. Yeah.
I mean, not gonna lie, every month I did check on progress, so I did know that it was opening before we got there, and it was stunning.
Yeah.
We can't complain about it. We travelled with family. Having those extra people to travel through the airport with little one was much easier. Having a better understanding of kind of
my dining
Disney
plan,
Express,
the booking,
dining plan, and all that helped. We booked all the restaurants we wanted, and we were very lucky. You know, we had a lovely holiday, and I'm sure we'll talk more of our Disney experiences another time because we've whittled on a lot. But so, what was your favourite holiday we've done? Let's get down to the nitty gritty of all the travel we've done. What's your favourite?
Holidays. For me, it's probably between either our honeymoon, or I suppose probably that, or our last Disney trip. So last year. Yeah,
I'd probably say the South African part of our honeymoon. Was probably the nicest place we've ever nicest room we've ever stayed in, or suite we stayed in, and the fact we saw hippos grazing, and we saw all the animals we wanted to on safari. So I would definitely say that. And I suppose Disney last year was definitely,
mainly because it was like Madison's first time out there, so seeing Disney for us from kind of like a young child's point of view and doing things in a different way was a refreshing kind of way of doing it all.
Yeah, so I think definitely those two. Most disappointing?
Oh.
I'm going to answer. I'll start this
Go on
one.
then.
I'd say Mauritius personally. Mauritius just wasn't for me personally.
I mean, the hotel was lovely.
Yeah.
Just some of the
Food was subpar
yes,
to me.
it was, especially considering what the rating it was supposed to have been.
And I think for me, I'd seen people with these gorgeous white, long, sandy beaches, and where we were staying was a little cove.
Yeah.
The beach felt like it was about 2 foot wide. It just wasn't for me personally. Yeah.
I suppose, yeah, especially where the expectation was that little bit higher as well.
So yeah, I'd probably say Mauritius for me.
Fair enough.
So your best memory of a holiday?
Oh, probably seeing the it's the leopard, wasn't it? When we were on safari. So we kind of stopped, and it was kind of, I got a really nice photograph of it. So kind of looking up from drinking from like a water hole.
And leopards are the hardest thing to find on the safari.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw lions, but they're generally you see lions when they're like resting because of the heat. So you do see them, but never in movement. But this leopard was literally just down in a watering hole. We watched it drink, and then watched it climb out. It was like really deep down, and we watched it climb up.
And then just wander off back into the bush.
Yeah.
And that was one of those things, again, you could do that safari umpteen times and probably never get the same experience twice. So that was definitely one of those highlight moments.
Another one on that holiday, and I'm not saying it was my best memory, but probably one of the funniest ones, is going to that little rest stop, which is like a motorway services in the middle of the like safari area, like within the grounds. And there's this big enclosure.
Yeah, we were kind of given time to have like lunch and stuff, so you get something to eat and you go and find somewhere to sit out the sun. And there's one of those big like thatched kind of covers, and there's nobody sitting underneath it. We kind of thought, oh, all right, and perhaps everyone was just filling up the other ones first, and we wandered in there, and then we kind of like looked up, and literally there was no part of the rafters you could actually see that was thatched. It was all bats having a little nap.
Yeah, I'll try and insert a picture. We did take a picture, so I'll try if I know how to find it. Yeah, it was literally bats, and if you went underneath, you might get pooed on.
Yeah, so we thought we'll sit out in the sun because that was the only chairs that were left. But that was certainly an interesting memory, definitely.
I think you always make Disney memories as well.
Yeah.
I think you always make a Disney memory. Yeah, so I can't say. I think for me, one of the best memories is watching like Madison in the wave pool at Typhoon Lagoon.
Yeah,
I love water. We both love water, but I would rather not be battered by a wave. You don't mind it, and apparently Madison doesn't either.
No, she was quite keen.
Oh, Slinky Dog. Slinky Dog.
That she loved.
Watching her on Slinky Dog was a good memory.
Yes.
Or meeting Jasmine.
Oh,
I've never known a child. Literally, she looked like she'd met her idol. She was literally.
Her jaw was on the floor.
No blinking.
Even Aladdin came past and he was like that in front of
She
her
was
eyes.
like,
nothing would break her stare at all. So.
She was in that, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think definitely, and it'd be interesting to see the new memories that she makes and the interactions now she's a bit older. So, any holiday that we've done that you'd go back to? Or have to go back to is back on the list.
Yeah, I would happily go back to Egypt just from a diving point of view. There are a few places that will beat it in that regard. Malta I'd happily go back to just to be able to see a little bit more of the country itself. And it's kind of nice out there because travel wise and stuff, it's very similar to the UK, and they got the same highway code as we do. So driving's a little bit choice, but it's interesting to say the least. But yes, that's another country I'd probably go back to. I think there's much point me saying Disney because that's always going to be one of those reoccurring places.
I think we like to travel though, don't we? We've got, although we've been and we would go back to a lot of places, I think we're definitely, obviously Disney, as I say, reoccurs, but we like to try and make sure we see as much as we can in the times we're not doing Disney. Yep. Like we've mentioned to do, like in the future, maybe do a cruise so we can put lots of pins and maps, and also with little one, again, it's somewhere where she can be entertained on the boat while we can go off and do some of the touristy stuff maybe. Mexico's somewhere that we've mentioned before. Canada, maybe a cold holiday. We've never done a cold holiday. So I haven't skied, but you have.
Yes.
But yeah, we like travel. We travel and we make a point to try and holiday when we can afford it and we budget for it, because if we stay in the UK or we stay at home, we don't stop. We keep working.
Yeah, and I'm probably the worst culprit for that one.
And as the business picks up and grows, I think we both get bad. So we do make a point of travelling, and we think travel is really important. And I always say to younger people, like, take the time, travel. If you've got the money, save, go, do it while you can before you take commitments on.
Yeah.
But I don't think having children stops you from travelling.
No, we're always very keen to kind of still. We've always tried to kind of. Our life hasn't really changed that dramatically. Actually, we're quite lucky, really, because.
No, we've tried to be very.
Yeah,
consistent.
all of our like interests and everything else is still done with Madison.
So yeah, that's our very long itinerary of travel. We've been very lucky. I don't think until I wrote it down, I realised quite how lucky we have been. Yeah, we have been very lucky. We have travelled well, and we hope that we will be able to continue to travel.
If anybody's got any kind of recommendations, hints, tips, that kind of stuff, places to see.
But yeah, we are well on the countdown now. We are
T-minus
98. That's bad writing, but 98 days. We are double digits. And to be honest, how far further along are we from our last video?
A week.
But what have we actually done?
Not a lot.
I think we still don't know how we get to the airport. We still, logistics still to be planned.
Yes.
Fingers crossed there's not too much. We do know that our travel insurance is still valid.
Hey.
And our Estes are still valid.
Hey, easy.
So technically we're a little bit further along because we know those things. But yeah, we are needing to get a little bit more organised, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because the weeks will fly by now. They always do. When you get down to double digits, they fly by.
It's definitely the shortest time frame we've tried doing Disney before.
Yeah, and I think that's as we said before, one of the reasons we didn't do full dining plan this time.
No.
But yeah, we're excited. But we better finish this up before little one wakes up.
Yeah.
She'll want to join in and tell you all about her experiences.
That'll be another half-hour video, so we'll save you all that.
But we'll definitely be back soon with maybe our favourites of Disney maybe, or our bucket list of travel.
Yes.
But we are now flashing red, so we are really going to call it a day.
Right.
So thank you.
See you later.